Hello. All right, guys. Let's try that again. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the NickWalshTV channel. I think we are reconnected now. Sorry about that. I don't know why that just happened, but apparently my OBS completely forgot that I have a microphone. Just wasn't there. Full stop. Welcome back to the NickWalshTV channel, guys. I was just saying how much I was grateful for Raksha. She's been a moderator for far longer than 18 months, but it is cool to see that they have the 18-month indicator there. Welcome back to our Power Mods, Tom and Raksha. Thank you for being here, guys, as always. Sensitive Tony, hello. Hello, Denfis. I'm hoping that we're back online here in a reasonable way now. Certainly not muted now. You guys know how incredibly relaxed it makes me when we start and the mic is muted for no apparent reason. Life tilt. This might be a short stream, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's just start off the stream on life tilt. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. Let's just further exacerbate Nick Walsh's tilt by starting off muted. Let's do that. That's a great idea. Babe! I started off the stream muted, now I'm on life tilt already. Yeah, can you make me an Aperol? I want a fucking Aperol. Make me an Aperol! Just kidding, babe. I love you. We're not folding. I'm going to mark this one for review. I'm pretty sure that we are allowed to fold some of our bottom pairs at this exact setup. I want to mark that one for sure because I do think probably we still call. Does feel a little bit subject to abuse. Subject to exploitation. Straight and ace king, lovely stuff. We're not going to change much about this game. This 7-4-1 is really interesting, though, because the issue we encounter is that that stack depth, we're very capped to not having too much of that board. What was that, babe? Oh, is that just my voice? Yeah. It's like, what is there a wild animal in there? It's just me. It's just me playing through the headphones. It's just me. Hi guys. How you doing? It's super weird. I thought the mic was muted. The mic wasn't muted. I thought it was muted in OBS. It wasn't. It just didn't have a microphone. Microphone was just removed. We just deleted microphone for some reason. Yeah, Raksha, I'm just sorry. I actually gave you a much bigger speech than that, but of course it was muted. But yes, I was just saying about how long it's been. I mean, like 8 years. It really seems like yesterday, honestly. There's so much about my career on Twitch and with PokerStars and everything that feels like we just kicked off yesterday, and there's so much of it that feels very distant as well. It's kind of weird. Different parts of it feel feel like it was very recent, and parts of it feel like it was a long, long time ago now. Makes me feel a bit emotional. I mean, I'm trying to think back to like just even starting streaming. Where did my stream? I guess my stream career started at my old flat. Just a bit before that, even. It must have been right after that. Yeah, really interesting. All right, let's take a look at two tables here, guys. I'm hoping that we're gonna get some good games today. Honestly, there was so much about yesterday's session that I think was very, very good. Some of our biggest pots we lost, I think, were just really great bluffs. Very, very, very reasonable. Very reasonable, not at all spewy moves. Hey, Pete McDonald, what's up? Good to see you, mates. Big shout out for Raksha. We definitely can consider the ace deuce there. I'm going to take out the very bottom of the aces there just for my own sanity. We're going to run this one, of course. Okay, unknown player. We definitely could raise this up. I don't expect them to limp jam as often when they're unknown players, so I think this is probably okay. Top pair is pretty good hand. Do I think he folds a 7 or a spade for a larger size here than is balanced? No, let's just go bigger. We pick up a heart draw on the turn. I would say probably we're really good just going for another size similar to this. Trying not to panic and just jam, right? Just keep pressing in a way which makes it difficult for them to call. So the price was probably slightly incorrect there, right? So we probably want to go. So if they have 9 cards, 18. No, it's probably actually all right. Let me have a think on that one actually. This one feels correct. Let me think on this one. So there was 10 in the pot. Where's the calculator? I'm just using a regular calculator, by the way, guys. This isn't anything fancy, don't worry. So that would be 18. So 4 divided by 18 equals 22. Yeah, no, that was actually completely fine. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bet a size which just prices out the correct call with hearts. Hearts will have about 18%. We gave them a price of about 22%. We probably can afford to go closer to half pot, to be honest. I think that might be slightly better because of the implied value of the call. Half pot might have been a better size. 8 years later and I still don't get power up. That is quite funny. I guess we just got to call. Check again. We're obviously calling a jam or whatever. The fact he checks the flop is usually an indication of decent showdown. It might even just be king high. He actually checks an ace on this river, which is a sad story because that's exactly the kind of hand you'd expect to continue value betting after the trap. This one's going to be really close against this player. Okay, king and a 4 is going to go all in here versus the reg. They always have it, chat. They always have it. Now we're going to mark this one for review so we don't lose our fucking minds. when we're always putting it in with the right hand and always running into the dominating hands. It really, really feels like that, guys. I don't know about you. Can't help but feel like we are just always running into the nuts. King 10. If we go for this is a better size, right? Then we can shove river if we want to. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We left ourselves with 9.5. Is that right? Oh, yeah. Great sizing. Excellent sizing, Nick Walsh. Really, really supreme sizing. Okay. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say a check here is quite cool. Our opponents will start attacking when we improve quite often. The 4 definitely has a semblance of showdown. Definitely calling. Might even consider calling river depending on the run out. Yeah, I don't really see how we can fold when we improve into 2 pair here, guys. Like, certainly he can have a 7. I don't think a 2 is a component to this too often. He could have hearts, whatever, but we've underplayed our hand so that we'll get bluffed like this. In the event that we bet, we're still going to end up losing a massive pot here anyway. I'd be interested to look at what that one says in GTO Wizard, because I think probably this is just like a spot where a reg is going to pounce on the check on the flop so often, and that's kind of the intention. So when we get to showdown with that specific hand, like, we pretty much just have him beat like so much of the time. Let's mark that one for review. In fact, before we move on, let me close up stars really quick. I want to look at this hand really quickly before it leaves my mind. Let's go into review mode here really quick. Sorry guys, wrong button. So again, just to be crystal clear, I have closed Poker Stars completely. The client is no longer open, so we're going to take a look at this spot here. So we play 5-4 as a min raise. This will happen infrequently, but we rolled low, so we actually played this as a min raise. Our opponent calls. We end up connecting with the straight draw here. So betting here, I think, is never going to be a problem. For the most part, when we open raise pre-flop, we are just going to bet. The issue that we encounter is if we get raised here, we end up kind of putting in money with the straight draw. Like, obviously, betting and calling a raise is not going to be the end of the world here. So I am interested to see how GTO wants to play this. But I think the check has a lot of upsides, including them turning like A6 into a bluff, or N8 into a bluff, or, you know, there's just like a lot of random heart combinations. What if they have like Jack 10 with the Jack of Hearts or something like that, right? On this turn, Jack 10, Jack of Hearts, suddenly they just start leading. What if they have what if they end up having a hand like, you know, King 8 with the King of Hearts here? That's another good example. In any case, this is how it runs. Once our opponent has led into this turn, like, it's just like, yes, they can have big hands, absolutely. But this is also the perfect river to continue bluffing to try and get me to fold all the overcards. I can have King Queen with the King of Hearts. I can have Jack Queen Jack with the Queen of Hearts. I can have a random 6 that they're trying to get to fold. I could have A6 that I check on this flop, blah, blah, blah. This just, to me, looks like too pure of a spot, even though, of course, they're going to have hands here that win. Let's open up GTO Wizard and take a look at this one specific spot while it's still fresh in our minds. Before we turn stars back on and we resume our session. Yeah, this is good. So like I said, pre-flop, the min raise is happening very infrequently, but we rolled low, so we're actually randomizing this for this specifically. So it is a raise 27% of the time. I think I rolled like a 10, so we played this as a min raise. Fine. On the turn, on the flop, excuse me, it is actually almost entirely check, which I think is really interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some checks with aces, for example, here as well. Let's actually take a look at that. Hello, Martin Samuels. So aces, when you have the heart in your hand, are betting. Ace of spades, ace of diamonds, where we're unblocking the draws, has more check, which again makes a lot of sense. You want those draws to barrel and then put more chips in for you. Kings even less so, queens even less so. This is good. This is very good. So our sort of estimation on this is completely accurate. On the turn, 100% call. We're trying to keep in the bluffs, and on the river, it's going to be close because, of course, your opponents will have a hand, but the call is still approved here for sure, especially if we think our opponents are prone to this. This is very good. Let's unmark the 5-4, and let's carry on with our session. Good, we're not going crazy. We just lose money. I think we should, I think that's gonna be the name of our book. I didn't play it bad. I just never win. Pocket six is here on the left. Let me get the table up for you guys. Sorry. Hey, Florian, good to see you, mates. Florian, I still need to, I still owe you some review time. Talking in my ear some. Okay, so if we thought he had a 3, that's obviously not a good spot anymore. We're not putting him on a 3 here, but that was one of the hands we could beat that was made that we check called on the turn. Turn was a 7. That's the name of the new book, guys. I'm not crazy, I just never win. Hmm. 3x multiplier against the reg. Let's just run it. Always dominated. Always dominated. But the cards don't love me back. If the house keeps winning, I need more than it makes sound. Seven's no good. Okay, I believe you. Pocket jacks is a good hand though, guys. Pocket jacks, notoriously, famously good hand. ace king. Let's put in a trap here. Pretty good flop. Against the reg, I think I want to keep this balanced and just bet flop and hope he has a piece. Flush draw. Not folding. Check raising doesn't seem to be a thing here. I think just bet flop here with the gut shot is good. So this one on the right is interesting because we are still ahead of some hands that are, you know, Jack 9, for example, we're still beating 7-9. So I think the call here is both good for the draw, but also because we can check down to showdown occasionally. Okay, we're going to check raise this one. This one's going to be fine to push. The 8-6 is okay here. I think it's going to be better as a call in this particular setup, though. Just bet flop here, I think. Always dominated. Always dominated. Pretty clear bet flop. Being min check raised here is a bit weird. Like, I don't think he's going to have a king barely at all. I don't think he has an ace barely at all. I think he could do this with a 4. He could do this with hearts. Queen Jack also probably doesn't play like this either. So I think we're just going to get away with this quite often. We've got 1.5 and we'll plan to shove river quite often here.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Hey, thank you very much, Tony4 Warriors. The official Warriors of the Tony. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate the raid. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you for the good lucks. Do this one here. I am going to overfold the tray, and I'm going to check that one out later on too. We got it in so good. Hey, Jakers, thank you very much for the prime. Appreciate you, dude. Welcome, everybody. Hello, all the raiders from Tony's channel. My name is Nick. If you haven't seen me before, I play a lot of spin and goes. I also do a lot of commentary for PokerStars. I'm a PokerStars ambassador and member of Team Pro. And we are trying to win anything. We're trying to win anything we can. Zeneda says, I'm looking for a book on how to lose with 95% variance every time. Yeah, I mean, look, you came to the right place, mate. If there's one thing we do very well on this channel, it's high variance. Extended downswings. High variance maneuvers. You'll notice we managed to put the chips in good there a couple times. All right, interesting. He could have an 8 here. It's possible for him to have an 8. It's very possible. It's possible. I don't know if we're allowed to actually believe him, though. Okay, let's see. Story checks out. We got blinded out in that one on the left as well.
Just say never lose. This guy. Just say never lose.
Aces, let's go. So, good game on the right there for us. Thank you for the hype train, guys. Shout out to Raksha for the resub. 17 months, incredible. After 18 months of modding, excuse me. I will sort out that music, by the way, guys. I need to go in the back. I need to write that down. Where's my? Let me text Ruth. She'll remind me. Remind me to fix alerts on Twitch. We have queens. We bet one big blind. Florian says, no worries. I'm also trying to get my workflow back on track. The month and a half break was great for my personal life, but it set me back in this project. Now I can't find half the things I had before. I totally get where you're coming from, mate. I get that for sure. I feel you, mate. I really do. All right, we have a queen. We can certainly bet flop. We can certainly also check flop. We have a straight. Our opponent shouldn't have an ace here too often. I would say that theoretically they're not supposed to have an ace there that often, but there we go. Who knows? Does he ever lose? I'm going to make the tightest fold of my life ever here, guys. Nick trying to win a 60-40. It's been this way since the start of 2026. Try my best. We have kings. For lulz, he's gonna fold to any raise here. We're gonna keep the kings inside of. We're gonna keep the kings inside. Inside voice. Keep them in the hand. Keep the bluffs in. Gonna keep the bluffs in. Maybe the worst turn of all time. Quite possibly the worst turn of all time. Be really good if he just had a 7, right? All right, if he's not betting, I don't think he has a straight. 2 pairs are definitely a possibility still. 2 pairs probably check flop. I don't think he has 7-9. I don't think he has 7-8. Can we actually find a value bet on this river, or are we just being absolutely ridiculous? He wouldn't call that hand anyway. That's fine. Doesn't it feel like it was 17 months ago to telling Nick to activate his affiliate? I mean, am I not already affiliate? What am I missing? I must be affiliate because I applied for partner and they rejected me. Despite literally having been PokerStar's partner, despite being a Twitch partner on like 3 other occasions. Having been to TwitchCon as a partner before. Trip deuces. I'm not really sure what to do here, guys. Obviously, we're beating some fives. I don't think he plays a six like this. Cool. We lost the all-in with the jack five of spades, which is still the correct push. Thick Walsh could hit a ball 400 yards, I say. That's true. You'll have to get it as a PGA Tour streamer. Nick Walsh, Golden Nugget, low limit crusher. There's no such thing as low limit at the Golden Nugget, mate. 1-1 uncapped. 1-1 uncapped, no problem at all. Legend. I do wonder if I can make it as a gaming streamer. Tom. Tom. Sorry, Croaks, you're never brave enough to try. I was just there. I was just at Topgolf Las Vegas. Oh, I see. Oh, Tom. Such times we've had. Okay. How are we doing this? Unknown player. Okay. Ooh, baby, you know. I'm gonna check raise this flop, guys, or I'm just gonna bet the turn. We have 2 pair on the river. He could have a straight. I don't think he has a straight that often. We're gonna check call the river. Got him. I hope it makes you happy. We will not be folding ace nine of diamonds. We will not be folding ace queen offsuit. Put the chips in good. We put him in good. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. One uncapped as well. That would thrive. I mean, it's great. It's still there. I'm pretty sure. My intention was to spend more time there this year, but obviously, not unfortunately, I was spending time with family instead. I learned poker playing Underground 1-2 uncapped games versus all kinds of miscreants. Those are the best kind of people. FYI, the miscreants are the best kinds. Wow, 47% can't lose. It's impossible. 10! Fuck. You'd think we'd win some all-ins once in a while. Can the 3 take it to showdown here on the left? It can. Top Golf Pool Insider Nick Walsh, that's right. I'm telling you, it is the nuts. Top Golf Pool, one of the unsung heroes of Las Vegas. If you're looking for a very, very chilled, not busy, clean, private pool, free cabanas, swim up bar, chilled atmosphere, you can ask Ruthie. She'll agree with you. Ruthie! She keeps closing the door to the office. She's trying to cook me alive in here. His 6 of hearts is the nuts. We have a straight draw. We have a pair of 9s. We have an overbet jam river. Get him to fold the chop. Fold the deuces here. Genius. Ugh. Queens, like a boss. I did win every cash game session this trip, which is nice. All PLO. I won every single cash session I played this trip. I only played like 2 though, so. Although I did come back from Vegas and then I won every cash session that I played in Nottingham as well. And I played a lot more of those. I just find it difficult to lose when I play cash. I find it very difficult to lose when I play cash. Spinning goes, very easy. Tournaments, even easier. House Swamp Blood. Walk in wavy. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. I'm not sure about the Queen 8 of Hearts. Let's mark that one for review. I think we are allowed to push Queen 8 there. But let's mark that for review. I do think that's probably a call. Winning flips is easy. Nice. Okay, we can definitely just ship the Ace-4 of clubs here. This is going to be approved. Chip on the table. Into a fable. Down, ba-da-da-da. Wow, ba-da-da-da. Say my name, give it all to me. You bet on maybe. I walk in wavy. Chip on thy shoulder, chip on thy table. Oh, right when we thought we were gonna run good. Just when we thought we were gonna run good. Don't run me down. Got a call with the Ace Deuce here. BC is a player we've played with a lot. Player that we've played plenty with. Got no reason to believe that Ace Deuce is not a slam dunk call there. Not even remotely close to a fold. I'm running like God. After the beverage bill, you broke even. So I probably broke even in... I think I broke even in tournament binds and cash. As in, I went there, I played a bunch of tournaments, I played a bunch of cash, and I think it worked out about break even. With the drinks bill, definitely down slightly. After the bar tab, I definitely was down a couple $100. But I played really well. I soft bubbled the min cash for the main event, where I definitely should have gone through there. I fired the high roller twice. All really good stuff, no good. I fired the closer and the big 50. The big 50, no good, played well. And then I got all the chips in for about $1 billion. A billion chip pot, all in with the best hand pre-flop against two other players who were all in blind. And I ran very bad not to win that one. We'll mark this one for review. I'm basically positive that this is fine. I'm basically positive this is what you do. This is GTO. I am basically positive that that was the best line. The guy has no big blinds and he has pocket tens because that's how we roll. This is how we roll, guys. We're not interested in winning. We just want to see how many times we can get it all in with the best hand and lose, or get it all in with the right hand and run into a monster. We're keeping score. Team 651, thank you very much. Thanks, brother. Ace 9 is basically the nuts here. No chance we can fold against a king of poker. And we run bad against this guy. I want to call king of poker our nemesis, but honestly, I just can't even be mad about any of it. I'd really like to be mad about some of it, but I can't be mad about any of it. He just always seems to have it. Honestly, more than anything else, I think we just run bad against this guy. He's great. He's a very good player, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's luck that he's as good as he is, but I think we are very unlucky in the pots that we play against him. $100. We're going to limb trap A7 of spades. We're calling a shove if we need to over here. Terrible flop, but lots of good turns. Oh. That is potentially one of them. We're looking for an ace, a spade, possibly just a 7. That's not a good hand, really. It's not really a good hand. I don't think he is allowed to have king 10. I think 8-10 probably leads the turn. I actually think we're allowed to do this. Certainly could have played King 10 like this, no problem. Just top pair, easy game. Just top pair, easy game. Just top pair. What else would he have? In a limp pot at 12 big blinds effective. It's a good line though. I like it. It feels like a thin value bet from a 9 or a jack as well. You won't have King 10, you won't have A10. I like it a lot. I think it's a great move. I think it's a really, really good move. More like a frenemy. I mean, I wish King of Poker and I were friends. I don't feel like we've ever. I don't think we've ever interacted before. Can we trap kings for once in our lives? Kings! Kings for the King of Poker. We are going to raise this river. I'm going to raise this river. Come on! Domination situation. King of Poker defeated. King of Poker. Okay, we rolled really low in this spot, guys. We're going to go for one of these. We're going to go for one of these. We're going to go for one of these. Excellent poker. Fantastic poker. Really, really spicy poker. I think with the jack, we're fine to just bet the flop here. We're wrapped around the jack. There's a lot of good turns for us to barrel. Let's try and lean into the aggression here. Jack of spades, 4 of spades. We shan't be folding flop. Kind of anticipate our opponent to bet flop, bet turn quite often. I don't think we can continue. I want to mark this one for review because I do feel like it's a very specific kind of dynamic there. I think folding flop is way, way lame, but I think that folding turn is mandatory against the full pot. I think betting this flop is probably going to be okay. Somewhat problematic that we're not going to get tons of value, but if they have a 9 or a 5, I suppose still get some. Pocket kings over here, the kangs. Kangs all in, please. Got him! Great run out here. It's actually a really, really good run out. So he's going to have like 7, 8, and 8, 9 here. He's going to have missed hearts as well. He won't turn king high or ace high into a bluff on double paired river. I think it's probably actually a really nice call. One of the hardest things thank you for the follow. That was Red Garlic. Hello. So one of the things that he's trying to represent there, of course, is a 10 or a 6. And the 10 or the 6 are the hardest things for him to actually have in that spot. Very, very, it's much easier for him to have. It's going to be much, much easier for him to have the miss straight draw, miss flush draw. We have beat. Sorry guys, this is the wrong effing table. There we go. Why do I run so bad? This guy definitely has a 6 or a 5. And this guy will definitely never believe me if I bet this river. I say this guy. I'm sure Beck is a friend of the stream by now. I'm going to mark the king 10 here. I'm pretty sure when Beck is this short, the shove is better. Come on! Bruv. Grow up, mate. Imagine just winning it on. My girlfriend is trying to roast me alive in my own office. I gotta go open this door. Play your hands, guys. Fuck, I run so bad. Sorry, guys. Just had to open the door. It's too hot. Okay, let's play the next one. So that one's good. This one is needs to. Okay, next games. Queen 10. We are going to limp this one. We're gonna limp call. Not the best of flops, I have to admit. That's a very confident big bet flop. Very, very confident on that texture. Against the reg, I think we probably are going to be obliged to call this. They're going to shove a lot of hands here, especially in the 2x multiplier. Queen 8 suited, not so much. Let's just play this as a push, I think. This is going to be well within Nash. Against the reg, we lose very little by playing the alternative. This is going to be find a push first limp. King 9 defends. This is really, really, really a tough spot now for us. We are going to be winning a fair amount here. Our opponents should be barreling on the ace texture very aggressively, but I have a feeling that this is still going to be correct. Ace-6 into ace-queen, sure, that makes sense. Check on the turn here. I'm just going to bet a small amount for protection. This is a good way of actually pushing out some better hands as well once in a while too. Good vibes on that one. We had the right idea. The ace-high texture is actually not as scary as it looks because... Oh, hello 10x multiplier. Sorry guys, wrong one. This is a 10x multi over here, guys. If I can find it, there it is. 10x multiplier on the right. Let's focus on this one. So the ace high texture in a min-raise when they min-raise blind v blind at that shallower stack depth, a lot of the aces are gone because most of the aces are played as push. So that ace high texture actually isn't as good as it might initially. It's not as bad for us, and it's not as good for our opponent as it might initially look. So we don't want to overfold there, although it can be tricky to play on turns. Really quick, we're over here. We're all in with the fours. Why isn't this working? Never mind. We are getting it in bad anyway. Table 1 is showing the wrong table. That's weird. Huh. MTC table 2. Weird. Okay, anyway, let's focus on this one. Just really quick, guys, I want to figure out what's going on here. So this is MTT table 2. Okay, so copy this, go over here. Huh. Okay, what's wrong with this one? This is MTT table 1. That's very strange. Okay. So at the moment, guys, we have a 50% win rate in 10x multipliers this year. I don't remember the exact number, but we've played a fair number. We've won half of them, which is exceptionally good. But obviously, this is a reg speed spin and go, so these were the ones that we used to be really good at. So story checks out. These are two very good regs, unfortunately, in this game. In an ideal world, we can cold deck these guys hard enough to win a bunch of chips. This could be a push. It's not. Okay, we're going to make it a raise then. We are limp calling a jam if we need to. All right, we'll keep it balanced on the flop, guys. If he has a queen here, we can do some real damage. The check against a reg is basically you just giving up on the pot, because that's a board that we would always bet as a bluff. So it really is mandatory that we bet there, and it's the best way to get the most. If they have Jack 10 or Jack 10 or King Jack or whatever as well, those are hands that still need to continue, so we get value from hands that aren't even made yet. This is an interesting one. This was a steal blind v blind. I think we do continue. We're actually going to be ahead of a fair number of hands here with King High, and he's going to struggle to bluff the turn. And so for that reason, you know, I do start to wonder if we want to start doing some betting ourselves here. I think we have enough showdown to just check turn. We can reassess on the river. Okay. I mean, you know, we're just ahead of a ton of stuff that wants to steal here as a bluff. I don't think we need to turn our hand into a bluff. It'd be really annoying if you had like 10-8. That's unfortunate. We end up having the same kind of hand the Jack plays, unfortunately. I think that is a very good example of a spot where I think people will over bluff, though. Do I think King Jack might fold? Potentially, but I do think that there's still also a bunch of pocket pairs that probably don't want to fold that river too. I think that is just good thought process there. Let's mark that one for review. I'd love to see if GTO wants to do anything else. Once your opponent shuts down, though, I think the bigger issue is as well, like, ace highs aren't going to be in there as much as you'd think either. This is another example, like the blind v blind spot where we get to where the steal exists. We're not really losing to ace high that much because most of the aces are going to be played as a shove or a raise pre-flop anyway. So king high kind of ends up being the best high card we have. You can see he ends up with King Jack of Hearts here. Ace Queen is a good hand for the 10x multiplier, guys. Wish me luck. Jack 9 is a good push, though. How many clubs in this deck, for God's sake? Oh, I know. I see what's going on here. Okay, that makes sense. Table 1 had clicked, but that makes sense. I know what went wrong. They both have table 1 showing, don't they? That's what's. I know what happened. Okay, cool. This makes sense. There we go. Okay, so whatever, guys. We just run like bad all the time. It's okay. It's all part of the. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. You see, guys. It's all part of the master plan. 4x multiplier over here on the left, so it's something. I'll mark up the loss on our tracker. You just would think, wouldn't you? You just think it would be possible once in a while. Classic, 2 big blind extra in the middle. Your opponent commits an extra 2 big blinds here, and the big blind unfolds is very, 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 very good. Very, 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 very good. See what happens on the turn. We have a pretty strong hand on this board. I guess we got a full turn. I'm going to mark that one too. So we mark King 7. That one's marked. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's mark the Queen Jack as well. I think our hand is too strong to fold on the flop. And then on the turn, I guess we got to give it up. But against the unknown in particular, they're going to play a little bit more face up, which is probably to our benefit. Okay, let's put in more of the stack here. This is going to be fine for like 6. This is fine too. I'm going to bet flop at turn here. This seems good. So does this. I'm going to float the flop here. If it comes a diamond on the turn, I'm going to lead. Otherwise, we'll see if we can find another way to win it. This is a funny one on the left. It goes check, check on the flop, and this does kind of lead me to believe that we are winning some of the time still with Queen High. I'd be interested to see what happens on the river now. I think it will go check, check a fair amount where we win. Nice hand. Let's play this one as a min raise and a continuation bet. Getting check raised by the random is not good. King 4, definitely a push right into a dominating ace 4 because, of course, we can never catch a break. We can study and study and study and play as well as we want, but when it comes down to it, when we're all in, we're not going to have the best hand this year. When it comes down to it, having the best hand is not something that we are capable of doing. The math ain't mathing. The math just ain't mathing. King deuce. So technically this is a call on the right hand side against the unknown. We're going to make a folds. I think we're actually going to end up dominated there way more often than one would imagine, one would like. This is not dissimilar on the right hand side. We end up having like a pretty strong hand on this texture. Same again, we're going to try and get it to showdown. Against this player, we can certainly consider doing one of these. King high like a boss, potentially. We end up chopping because we run like shit. Let's go for a check on this flop. You can grind our way out of this here. On the left-hand side, we still have a fair amount of scope to beat this guy, I think. On this texture, betting is probably going to be fine against this guy. The King X is not going to be in there nearly as much. The 9 is possibly one of the worst cards for us. Can we get a 2-pair to showdown? Lovely stuff. Dominated again. Cannot avoid the sickness. I don't think we're just calling a jam here. Oh, man. Let's mark the King 10 for review just in case we are being completely stupid. You know, there's always a chance that we are just losing the plot. There's always a chance that we have just lost our complete fucking mind here, but we should take a look. Dominated again, of course. Oh my god, it's impossible to win this game. Question from the chat. Aquario says, was Jack 9 suited all in the right move from the opponent's perspective? What do we have? We got ace queen. Let me check for you, mates. In the 250. Oh, the shove. No, the shove is good. Yeah, the shove is definitely correct. Yeah, that guy. Both of those players are regs. That was textbook. The shove with the Jack 9 is spot on. They're unlucky to run into ace queen there, but you know, this is all part of what we're having to deal with. Really good players, and we never have the best hand is a very bad combination for us. Playing against very, very, very good world-class players and running like garbage. Difficult to beat. Straight through the floor, man. Straight through the floor. Well, we made a straight. Um, straight through the floor. Straight through the floor. Where's the deuce? All right. Once we hit this 6, we ain't folding. Oh! That makes sense. King on the river. Or is it queen on the river? King on the river. King on the river. Right. Right. Of course. We're gonna mark that for review as well. I'm pretty sure it's defend call. I would be rather surprised if it was not. Okay, let's mark the 9-5 suited. I'm almost positive this is just a straight jam. I'm pretty sure about that one because it's just a super awkward hand that performs well. We could see it was a 60-40 in that exact spot. It's even more than a 60-40, in fact. We just have to win some all-ins once in a while. Lost to Jack 9 suited again over here.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Shark Kansas, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate the support, you guys. We are drowning out here, mate. Drowning. I say that. We're not drowning. We're staying afloat. But it's really lame. I want to keep winning. I just want to win. I'm very interested in what happens if we just start winning. I'd be interested in doing a scientific study on what happens if you just win hands. But you know what? We're very lucky in life. And we keep blasting. That's what we do, chat. We don't give up. We just keep blasting. We do not give up. We just continue to le blast. We do not give up, chat. We just blast away. Shark Kansas says, been an hour and a half, about an hour of run bad, time for some run good. Let's fucking go. That's the attitude we need on this channel. Thank you, mate. That is the attitude that we need. And I'm sorry that I was not there to give it to you, chat. I've changed my mind. We're about to start winning. We are about to start winning. What do I know about these games? Yeah, that's not it. Shark Kansas, I was there in Vegas during the WSOP, but I didn't play any events. No, I was playing a little bit of cash. A lot of it was also just seeing family. I haven't seen my dad and my stepmom for some time. So a big part of that trip was also seeing them, and my uncle Mike came to join as well for a bit. Come on, 7. This is a sad story, isn't it? This is a very sad story. Just outplayed. Just outplayed. Just massively outplayed. I don't want this one. Anyway, I started blasting. Yeah, that's a good way to handle it. Okay, we got a double in this one. That's nice. 9 and a 5 isn't going to cut it somehow. Did we win? Did we win? Did we win? Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? 125. We put the chips in good over here. Heart. Thank you. My goodness. $100 over here. 125 over here. What are the chances? What are the chances, chat? We got Ace Jack over here as well. Jack 10 of clubs, by the way, the Omega Nuts. We are blind v blind against somebody we've played a lot with. What are we going to do here? Let's play this as a steal. We're going to win a flip over here. Never mind. Not sure why I feel shocked by that. We're going to go for the 1 big blind bet. We're going to go for the big bet turn. We're going to do 3.6 and we're going to shove the river. Do we commit to the triple in the 125? Can you believe it, chat? Can you believe it? Not against this guy. Not against this guy. He's under-repped his aces before on several occasions. We're going to try and learn from our mistakes. Look at that control, chat. Have you seen that? You guys ever seen that before? World-class control. Immediately winning with ace 8-7 of hearts. 7! Fuck off. You've got to be kidding me, mate. You guys have actually got to be trolling me. I double barrel bluff, get away from it on the river, all the self-control in the universe. Next hand, textbook jam for 12 big blinds with 8-7 of hearts. And they have aces and kings. They both have the hand. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, mate. No, no, no. No, I'm not obliged to believe that. This is reality, because this is not nice. This is not nice at all, dude. That's not nice. Terrible turn. Really, really bad turn. If he has a 7 or a 5, he'll probably try and get to showdown here quite often. I don't think we ever get check raised on this river. I don't think this guy has the move, but we could be wrong. What did I say? What did I say? You can have aces all you want, mate. You can cold deck me all you want. But you'll never outplay me. Lovely. I love how ace-4, a6 off overcalls here. This is really majestic. We won't be folding Jack-4 yet. Our opponent can definitely have an 8 here once in a while, of course, but that's just part of the equation. Let's see how we go on this river. Against this player specifically, I'm going to do this, which is unbalanced. Terrible turn. Really, really bad turn. I imagine we're probably still going to have to value bet at some point. Although it's difficult to know what we're getting paid by, so maybe not with the 10 tray specifically. Yes. Hi, babe. Oh, as soon as you open that door, babe. Oh my god.
Do you want me to leave it open?
Yeah, as soon as you open it, the breeze comes straight through. This is dangerous, babe. This is like keeping your dog in the car when you go shopping.
No, but you're fine.
Yeah, it's just blowing around hot air though. It can't escape. Chat! Why is this game so hard? This is genuinely breaking my heart, honestly. The fact that he shoves the river, I mean, he's definitely winning. The guy has no bluffs in that spot with on the ace high texture where we folded. The 8-7 is going to be text, but let's mark the 8-7 suited because I'm 100% certain it's a jam, and I don't want people to be discouraged from making the right play just because Nick runs like shit. That shouldn't discourage you. Watching me run bad should not discourage you from making the right moves. Kings is a good hand. Kings is a very good hand. Good God. Cold deck me some more, I swear to God. See if I care. It's actually embarrassing. It's legitimately embarrassing how bad I run. No professional should have to endure this. We have kings all in against ace-9. Both players have a flush draw. We have the flush draw covered. Who do you think wins? The offsuit. The offsuit. It can't be the ace of clubs. Can't be the ace of clubs, mind you. That's not a hand that will work there. The ace of clubs is not going to run. On the plus side, chat, we are making headway. On the plus side, we're making headway towards our goal, 3,500 games now, to try and get to 10K. I'm going to go for the fabled large ISO with 6 deuce offsuit. The rare fabled large ISO 6 deuce off ace jack jam. The fabled ace 10 offsuit jam 9 tray folds. Tens are good. Tens are a really good hand. I'm very sus of this moment here. I'm gonna fold the king 9. I have suspicious minds. We can go on forever. Because we got no blinds. Ace king of spades. We can go on forever. But we got no big blinds. Ruthie, can I have some water, please? Thanks, babe. Ruthie is the top poker support lady in the industry. Pit stop cruise, got nothing on her. We can go on forever. There's a business mind, but we got no big blinds. On the plus side, chat, all this pain, all this agony, it's making me tougher. It's making me more powerful by the day. I may not be winning any money, but every day I gain strength in a way. But every day I gain strength to dominate tomorrow. We're playing trays like that, huh? Interesting. It's a pretty good flop. Oh! We were dominating 10-7 of clubs. Never mind! Never mind. Turns the straight with the straight flush redraw. Can you believe that? Now over here, chat, we have an opportunity. Over here, we have an opportunity. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. This is the size. This is also how we would bluff.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, my love. Okay. It's a pretty clean run out, unless we're flush over flush, which would be a very sad story. We have sized it so we can shove for less than pot on the river. 14 big blinds dead, 12 big blinds effective. He knows we're on stream. This guy knows we're a streamer. He knows we're sat here. We're looking for reasons to get it in. Got him! Jack 10 versus 10-7 of clubs instantly turns the gut shot with the straight flush redraw. Ram Ranch says, man, I got incredibly intoxicated. Was all intox all yesterday. Made a fool of myself. I drank a bunch. I hope you're all doing okay. I took a 1-month break from poker. My mental health isn't the best at the moment. What time is it for you guys? It's 3 p.m. It's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm up at 3 a.m. hungover as heck. I can't sleep. I'm really sorry to hear it, May. I feel you. Coming back from Vegas and then going straight to Nottingham, I have to say it was boozy. There was maybe one night where I felt like, okay, I've had a bit too much, but all the other nights were just a consistent level of intoxication, which is also not good for mental health. And my mental health has suffered as a result of it. This week has been much more tame as a result, despite the football situation yesterday. B. Cesar. Now, I don't imagine that we're folding. Does the 9 turn off B. Cesar at all? I don't think we can call here. Okay, I'm going to mark that one for review. I do think we just have to call flop and then give up. I would say generally it's pretty hard for them to just have like complete rando bluffs as well. So this guy is almost definitely a reg of some variety, by the way. We got the chips in good here, by the way. It's nice to actually have him come back once in a while. Let's mark the king 5 spots. Mark hand. Aces is sometimes considered a good hand in Texas Hold'em. That's nice. It's nice to be on the right side of those once in a while. Oh, the breeze is coming through now, babe.
Yeah, I'm standing in front of the window here.
Oh my god, it makes such a big difference. Cool hand, thank you very much. There's probably a decent check raise here with 6 tray of clubs. I wouldn't be surprised if we're actually allowed to do something like this. If we don't pick up equity, we're going to play it coy on the turn. We'll mark this one for review as well, I'm guessing here, but I'm pretty sure this is fine. Tricky to know what to do now. Okay, let's mark that one. Tough spot there as well on the left. Bluffing with the bottom of the range. Take this one out. This one's getting pretty close now. I guess it's probably a fold. Nice. Again, this one's probably getting real close, man. I don't know. 10-7 might be a call there, guys. We're getting pretty bottom of the barrel. Energy is not. Energy says maybe. Okay, heads up for less than 3 big blinds. Let's do this one, and then let's do this one. Getting folds feels really good. Cool. Two X multiplier against the reg. We'll just let that one go. Ace Jack, we're going to try and induce the shoves. Jack 10 suiting. This one's fine. Jack 10 suiting. Yeah, let's just send it. Let's just send the ace 5 here. Whatever, it is what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually GTO as well, but you just seem to always run into it there. Let's take a little mark on that one. Let's mark up the ace 5. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that is textbook poker right there. Despite the fact that our opponent always has the best hand. Ram Ranch, man, you got to take better care of yourself, buddy. It's no good hurting yourself like that. All right, we're going to mark the King 4 suited for review as well, because I'm almost positive that one is GTO. Again, that's not one of the GTOs that's like, oh, this is fancy, like we're doing fancy stuff. That's like just math. That is just mathematics. We end up getting it in very live, by the way. Very live. So we got that one marked for review. I'm going to go out on a limb and say with a short stack and a very short stack in the big blind, this is going to be particularly good. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm just going to guess. The shove with a7 of clubs is really bad there, by the way, guys. That was a misclick. That was definitely a misclick. This one is going to be a raise as well. Pull to the shove. King 5. We're probably priced in here. He's going to shove. Yeah, this is fine. This is correct. This is correct. We'll mark the king deuce for review, but I'm almost positive that's a mandatory call, especially when we're stacked in this way. Like, our opponents are supposed to shove all kinds of stuff we have beat there. Big bet on this flop. Oh, okay, cool. King deuce, mark hand, next game. Yeah, of course he has ace king. 7. So how much you got, mate? 5 big blinds? Okay, I'm all in. Right. Your range can be extremely wide, right? My range is very wide. It's extremely wide. Cool. Well, I guess I have to call. Ace 7 must be winning, right? Nope, ace king. How could you be so stupid? How could you be such a dum-dum to think that ace 7 would be winning for 5 big blind shove? Huh? What absolute dumb poker school did you go to that makes you think ace 7 would ever be winning in that spot? Did you go to the poker school for dum-dums? Apparently so. Apparently, poker school for dum-dums is open for business. Apparently, the poker school for complete dum-dums is open for business. Population me. 1 student, Nick Walsh, that's it. So we have a jack on a turn where our opponent should be bluffing very, very aggressively. And we also have a straight draw to go with it. How do we lose from here, guys? Is it even possible? Is it possible? Where is the shove? What's he doing? It's like actually the dream setup for ace queen, and he just checks it down. Like, oh my god, we run so bad. Couldn't just make the straight. That would have been a nice little out there. God's sake. Smoking Branch, what's up? Good to see you, Dunbar. Hope you guys are well today. Welcome to the Nicholas Walsh Dum Dum Poker School. The only poker school designed specifically for dum-dums. All right, I am going to go out on a limb and say that we are supposed to go again here. Question is, do we commit river? I think we can. Oops. Don't do that. Oop. I think we go again. Let's try, guys. He could call with a king, I guess. This guy's got ace queen because of course he does. That's fair. King of spades is actually a really good card to have there if you want a hero call. We shove 10 big blinds with ace 8. We run directly into ace queen. Oops, sorry guys, wrong cover. There it is. Wrong table over here. I feel I would fit in very well at the poker school for dum-dums. God fucking damn it. Genuinely out here, absolutely blasting. Wait. What happened, guys? What happened? What happened? We shove deuces. What does he have? Ace 10. Okay, cool. Cool spot, cool spot, cool spot. Pocket 10's any good? Oh, we don't win that one either, huh? Cool. Shark Kansas said, is there a check raise on that flop, Jack 3 with the Jack? So we can look at it if you want. I don't think so. The board is particularly dry, which isn't very helpful for the check raise. Because if we're check raising, we want to get called by draws and worse hands. And it's a very, very, very dry board. Generally speaking, check raising top pair is very rarely going to be a bad thing, though. So I'm not going to tell you that it's bad, but we can take a look at it. I'll mark it for review. Oh, fives into aces. Oh. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Okay, so aces is better than. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, this makes a lot of sense now. We're doing it wrong, guys. All right, I've got that marked for review. If you stick around for another 30 minutes or so, we'll take a look at the spot. We'll take a look at it for you, mate, because I am interested to see that as well. I was wondering the same kind of thing. Oh my god, why do we play? This game is so cruel to us. For God's sake. That guy really wanted to fold that king as well. He was absolutely desperate. If he doesn't have the king of spades, I think we get the fold there. Cool. If he shoves tens, we still have to call. If he limps, we have to shove. Another cold deck for Nick. Because we can never have the best hand. We never have the best hand. Every chip we win, we have to fight for our lives. There's no such thing as an easy dinner. We can never just get it easy. We've always got to get it hard. We got to play for every chip. Every big blind's got to be hard won. Whenever we're in control, we win lots of chips. Whenever we're all in, we can never win. Do this. Against this guy, we can make a really tight fold here. King 10 of clubs. We got a big flush draw on this flop. 2 overcards as well. Our opponent will almost never have an ace. I think this is actually a really nice bet. Wonderful. Really, really good stuff. 2 overcards, flush draw, no good. And our opponent rivers trips just in case we wanted to do anything clever. Just in case we wanted to, I don't know, maybe bluff the river where we know our opponent doesn't have an ace ever. They just fade 9 cards plus 2 overcards. They just fade 15 cards and improve on the river without a club. Makes sense. Story checks out. It's actually sickening. Oh man, it's really hard to beat this game when you have never have the best hand. It's so hard. Like literally value betting the turn with King 10 of clubs here. We just can't improve. Dominated again for 3 big blinds. Okay, cool, nice game. Hey Strag, how's it going? Welcome, buddy. Pleasure to have you here, sir. Okay, let's mark the 9s for review as well. I'd be very surprised if we can miss the bet or miss the call. King 10 though, of course. Just always have it. Just always have it. It's really hard to win when your opponent always has it. It's so hard to win when they always have it. We'll take a look at it though, guys. There's a chance we're supposed to miss the continuation bet, but our hand is so strong, I'd be really surprised if that was the case. I would be very, very surprised if that was the idea there. Our hand is so well disguised, and in addition to that, it's a very wet board. We're unblocking many of the big draws that want to check raise there too. We don't even have a single spade in our hand. And as a result, it just becomes very, very good to bet and get the chips in, especially against an aggressive opponent. If our opponent isn't a big player, if our opponent does not play a ton of poker, then obviously that's not good at all. They're going to end up having much stronger hands in general. But even having said that, I mean, there's quite a few combo draws that need to check raise and then get the rest in on the turn as well, including some straight draw plus flush draws that make a pair. All right, we have another flush draw, which just terrifies me. We got ace-7 all in against 8-5 here. We lost that one too. We have a straight draw and a flush draw and an ace in our hand. Now I'm really, really scared. Can we get there? Okay, cue the 2 pair. We've managed to hit our ace. It's not a guarantee, but we can't miss it. He's all in for 2 big blinds. King 9 into King Jack. Dominated again. 9-7 of hearts can't fold for the equity here. And just like that, we have a straight. All right, at the very least, we're actually getting in some volume today. We have won a little bit of EV. Although we have bombed in chips. Like bombed in chips. We were actually going pretty hot there for a minute in the EV department, and then we got coolered for every single spot we played, including 7s and 8s, for example. This is going to look shit on the graph. And otherwise, we end up 6,000 chips under expectation. $6,000 chips under expectation in a single session. And our EV takes a bomb because we keep getting cooler to hell. And 83 games today is pretty good. Volume is nice. All right, this is $125 on the right-hand side. Let's see if we can't make something happen. Let's see if we can do something here and try and claw back a couple dollars. Because we ain't winning money right now, chat. Not when we're 6,000 chips under expectation. 6,000 chips when we only start with 300 per game. It is really funny. Ace-5 over here on the right-hand side. Trapping 8s on the left. This is probably not an unreasonable 3-bet spot. We're going to trap Ace-8 if we can. We managed to spike an ace. Oh, what's this over here? We managed to hit an ace over here, which is potentially a good thing, potentially a bad thing. We'll see in a second. We're not going to get away from it. We got 8s all in against Ace-8, which means that we had the hand dominated. We were, in fact, dominating our opponent there. And he hit an ace on the river. Does he ever lose? Ten on the turn. That's not a 10. Ooh, check, check. Is there a chance? Is there a hope that Queen High, Queen Jack can get to showdown here and win this hand? How cool would that be, chat? How cool would that be, chat? Oh man, I want to hero call this so bad. I want to hero call this one so bad. I want to hero call this one so bad. Come on, Queens! Come on, Queens! Pocket Queens for $125. Hello. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Are you actually fucking kidding me? It's just, you gotta laugh, chat. You gotta laugh. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I've done wrong in this life. I deserve this. I'm sure I deserve it. I'm absolutely certain I deserve it. I'm absolutely certain I deserve to river a set when it gives him a straight. I've definitely done something to deserve this. There's no chance that this is just me being unlucky. This is divine intervention. This is divine intervention. It's an actual joke. For the 125, by the way. For the 125. What is this? What is this? What are we doing? Divine intervention, chat. Divine intervention. That was all in for the win. For the 1-2-5. Best hand goes in. Probably the worst turn in the deck, by the way. Probably the worst turn in the deck, by the way. Probably the nut worst turn in the deck, can I add? Maybe a Siggy. We managed to turn 2 pair here, which is potentially very good for us, potentially extremely bad for us. We're about to find out. We're about to find out. All right, a few shoves here we're going to call. All right, wish me luck, guys. We are committing the rest of the chips here. Oh! Let's go. All right, nice. 1-2-5 in the bank. Let's take a look at today so far, guys. We're down $500 today, guys. Despite winning 13 chips per game on average in EV, we are, just about 6,000, over 6,000 games under expectation. 6,000 chips, excuse me, under expectation. So about 20 buy-ins or so over the course of 61 games. Probably have a couple more games left in us before we finish up today. Let's try and get some more volume in, and then we will we'll do some review. We have quite a few hands for review today. Loads of hands for review. A lot of it is just pre-flop though, so it'll go quick. Let's play 2 more games. Let's play 2 more games, and then we'll take a look at review. And we'll try and keep it professional. We're going to try and keep it professional despite the very, very disrespectful nature of the games we're currently taking part in. Highly disrespectful. Aces is a good hand. It's nice to be on the. It's nice to run into this once in a while. It's nice to have it once in a while. Yeah, to win 125 and still be down 500, that doesn't feel so hot. And a 2x multi against lulls, will let go. Let's get the turn. Ace 10 is puncher. This one is raise. This is raise to 3, I think it's fine. It's a big raise. Not big raise, it's a standard raise. We will get the chips in on the left if we need to. Zozo. I actually think we're going to bet turn here. Yeah, I think we're going to bet turn. And check river. If he has a heart and we lose here, might just quit poker forever. Oh, he's got 10 deuce with the 10 of hearts, and we value about 2 streets, and then he made his flush on the. Okay. Oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. We just put half of his stack in the middle with bottom pair, and then wins the pot anyway, right? Okay, cool. Meanwhile, we're still. Can I just indicate we're still actually winning EV? Despite literally doing this all day. We are still out here literally getting wrecked in all of these pots where we're making very, very good decisions. We are second barreling into a turn flush draw with intention, getting called by bottom pair and getting rivered consistently. Yeah. I'm a little bit confused why he doesn't lead turn here. Look, you don't have to lead a straight on this turn. I don't think that's something that's important. He will have missed hearts. He will actually do this with some sixes we have beat. He might have a straight. He might have a straight. He might have a straight. Or he's got running sevens. See, okay, so that's the well-disguised hand. We've correctly identified. We actually think he plays a 5 differently, which is true. But he has the really, really uncommon runner trips that gives him a hand that he can still value bet where he had no hand on the flop. Do you guys see how this is working today? Do you guys see how hard this game is? Are you guys, do you see why we're struggling to win money in this game right now? Under chips and running into hands like that. Right. Makes sense. Story checks out. Okay, we'll finish this up. We'll do some review. And we will we'll try and focus on what we did that was good today. Try and learn something from the hands we lost. These spots really suck because they're very easy for your opponent to bluff. But also they will have some very reasonable value betting hands as well, including second pairs. I want to mark that one for review. I'm really interested to know what we're supposed to do there from a GTO perspective. But I don't want to guess. Feels close against humans. Nice, that's nice to win that last one. All right, cool. Let's take a look at the final results here, guys, for today. Let's take a look at the overall results. I can tell you right now that we ran like trash today, which is nothing new. We've been doing that all year so far, but again, we have somehow still managed to hold our nerve and pull some semblance of expected value out of this massacre. We got off to a really strong start today. We were actually running somewhat reasonably. We were also winning a fair amount of EV. Almost all of this downswing in EV is just straight cold decks. We managed to claw back some. Again, 2 huge pots. 2 very large pots where we were putting money in good or making good decisions that cost us chips. And apart from that, just running cold as hell. I mean, what is this? We didn't win an all-in for 300 hands. Basically, and then it got worse after that too. Right, whatever, variance, cool. Let's take a look at this year so far. How does that pan into our overall? Let's clean this up a little bit. We're winning more than we're losing, and we're winning more EV than we're losing, and we seem to be trending very, very slightly upwards. We are bombing right now, guys. That was a $500 loss or so. Actually, let's take a look at today again and get the proper payouts. So minus 475. Again, in the grand scheme of things, that's like 20 big blinds. It's not that bad. In spitting goes, losing 20 big blinds, winning 20 big blinds, you know, losing 100 big blinds. These things happen. That's actually not all that catastrophic. You know, my frustration is really more to do with just the state of this year. This entire year has been very, very challenging. But we're still somehow keeping afloat. I've had a lot of conversations recently with some friends who play spins. They've watched enough of the stream and they are, you know, indicating that they think I'm playing very well still. Nobody's perfect. There's always room for improvement. That's why we're about to do a study session. But overall, the fact that we are maintaining this sort of flat line throughout pretty much every form of variance that you can encounter is probably still a very strong place to be in. At the moment, we seem to be kicking off sessions, grinding a fair amount of EV out, and then we have an hour where we can't win a pot, and we're losing entire buy-ins to some really, really tough spots that I think we're still playing quite well. And a lot of the tough spots that we're playing, we tend to review. That's why we do the review sessions. A lot of the spots that we review tend to indicate that I'm playing very well, or otherwise we can justify it. Let's take a look at some review, guys. Let's focus on what we're going to do in the future and not what happened in the past. Maybe that table freeze was the doom switch turning off. I mean, possibly. Okay, let's get started. Before we do that, guys, I'm going to close the Poker Stars. So we are within TOS. I'm going to skip the upgrade for now. So PokerStars is now closed, guys. In fact, PokerStars is no longer on the desktop whatsoever. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire up some tools to help us study with these situations. Let's start with our first spot here. Opponent limps, we check. We arrive here. Our opponent bets, we defend. Interesting spot here. So more and more when we study these situations, a lot of times bottom pairs are not performing very well. There's a couple things that we need to consider. It's not enough for us to just say GTO says call, therefore we call. Usually when GTO says call on flop, it's going to be fine. But once we get down the streets, it's a bit trickier. So part of what makes GTO comfortable calling on flops is the anticipation that you either improve in a way which gives you the best hand, or you can outplay your opponent in the future, or you're calling because you have the best hand and you're going to get to showdown often enough to make that a reality. So GTO does account for this, but that also comes with other implications. In the event that we look up a spot that says you can call on the flop, it's important we look at the value of the call, because if the value of the call is very, very low and you're playing against a good opponent, very likely the value of the call is predicated on you making the correct calls down the line. And if you're going to overfold the turn, the flop call becomes catastrophically bad for your win. However, if you're playing against players that are a bit more passive or a bit more face up, you can end up calling with hands that GTO might forego because you know that they're going to bet once and then give up when they don't have a hand. So this is a good example where we're getting very shallow. We start the hand around 11.5. It's not super shallow, but it's shallow. And what we've been discovering the more we're stuttering, I just stuttered when I said stuttering. What we've discovered while we're stuttering and studying these bottom pair spots is often having some backdoors is very useful. If it's a weak bottom pair in particular, it just, we could be out kicked by bottom pairs that are betting this flop, for example. These become very, very difficult to play well because we don't have a lot of ammunition to play with down the line if we do end up calling. And also, this is a board where we probably don't have a lot of very strong hands, right? Queen Jack might still be in here. Queen 4 maybe, but Queen 4 is very frequently played aggressively versus limp. Queen Jack is very frequently played aggressively versus limp. King 10 is a straight draw that we almost always play aggressively versus limp. 9-10 suited to some degree, it's Ace Queen doesn't exist, Ace Jack doesn't exist, King Queen doesn't exist once we check behind. So it's our opponents can run us over here a lot of the time. So we need to study these spots and make sure that we're staying on top of these moments. And for that, we can fire up the old GTO Wiz. So I pay for the ultra version of GTO Wizard so we can do a lot of fancy stuff. For the most part, spinning goes are already solved for us. Let's take a look. Yeah, so on the flop, we still have enough hand for us to want to defend. Once we see a bet, we call. On the turn we don't improve. We're forced to fold against 2. This is fine. Let's actually take a look. Just out of interest, I'm talking a lot about, inspecting the value of things. This is a way that we can actually inspect the value of the call. So in the event that we arrive on this flop of Queen Jack 4 with 2 hearts and we check, our opponent bets 1. Let's take a look at the EV of the call here and let's see if we can learn something from there. So our exact hand is 7-4, I believe. 7 of spades, 4 of diamonds. So it's not even remotely close. 7 of spades, 4 of diamonds specifically. The EV of the call here is going to be about 0.25 big blinds, which is very, very big. The more that you study with these things, the more you realize that, those edges are actually very considerable. But the important thing to note here is this isn't like, oh, I'm Mr. GTO Robot. I can call because in the future I can make other streets work where you're going to miss bluffs or you're going to overfold turn and blah, blah, blah. This is just blindly call and then see what happens and you're okay to give up on turns and rivers. The other interesting thing about this board is even good players will miss turn barrels here where they could have been more aggressive. So it's not uncommon for people to bet Queen Jack 4 with most of their range. In fact, if we look at the betting range here, if we take a look at the frequency of bet on Queen Jack 4 in position, it's going to be very extreme. So the check here is 56.2. If we just simplify this into bets, if we make all of the bets into one, we're looking at almost, 45% of the time we're going to be betting at Queen Jack 4. So this is a situation where your opponents absolutely will over continuation bet, which means that they won't have enough ammunition on turns to barrel again. So as an exploit, most players, even if they don't know this, they would have learned that high card, low card boards in unraised pots tend to favor the player in position, right? So if we were to just assume that we're going to bet most of our hands here, that will outperform GTO significantly against most players, even good ones. So when we arrive on this flop and our opponents c-bet, the call with the 4 is not only going to be good from a GTO perspective, but it will probably outperform GTO because our opponent's continuation bet, or sorry, just bet flop, looks like a continuation bet in position, is going to be so goddamn wide that they're going to probably have to miss bets quite often. If you're playing against a reg, that becomes less true. If you're playing against a reg, they will continuation bet the turn often once they bet flop. So this is, this is good. This is confirmed. It's not really that wild, but it is interesting to take a look at these and try and learn a bit more than just what's on face value. So our opponents, we shove here with King 4 offsuit. We're looking at about 8.5. I wouldn't be surprised if this is 100% jam from a GTO perspective. The fact we're looking this up goes to show how often we were running into the nuts, because I'm assuming we're dominated here. So for an 8.5 big blind jam, this is just a yes or no statement. We can take a look at the range. It's a perfect play. Let's take a look at how often we're shoving. I think it's almost 100%, if not all of it. King 4 is literally 100% at the stack depth, and it's not even close. The EV of the jam here is 0.34 big blinds when the effective stack is 8.5. It's a big edge. Like, this is a very, very good spot for us. What's even better about that spot, and that adds to a lot of the value, is when we shove at this stack depth with King 4, we're still supposed to get called by Queen High and Jack High and 10 High. 10-9 suited still calls, Jack 10 suited still calls, Queen Jack suited still calls. There's lots of hands that will call that we have beat here. So it's particularly good for us overall. Queen 8 suited. So I think we missed a shove. I folded here. I'm pretty sure Queen 8 suited is fine to shove into the 2 short stacks here. I would be interested to see what the EV is, but I'm almost positive that we missed a shove here, basically. Yeah, this is just a jam, obviously. Yeah, that should be obvious. Let's just take a look at the value of the jam. In the event that we're playing here against 2 unknown players, I want to think about the implications of this. So Queen 8 suited isn't even close. As soon as I folded it, I marked it for review. This isn't a mistake per se, more of a misclick than anything else. But we kind of knew that was the case. If we actually look at the value, it's 0.16. This is definitely still way too good to want to miss. Like, you definitely don't want to be giving up an edge like this. However, the interesting prospect here is, in the event that we're playing against 2 unknown players. No, I mean, yeah, so we've basically answered our own question. I know a lot of players that are not calling an all in here with Jack Deuce off or Jack 3 off or Jack. In fact, I'm probably not doing that. In the event that we play this as a push against 2 unknowns, they will definitely overfold, and that will increase the value of the jam. So this is definitely one that we absolutely never miss against any players. That's the important note here. So there's a limp. We big raise the 8-9 suited our opponent jams. I'm pretty sure this is textbook. We could probably make this 4.5 instead of 5 or whatever that was, but let's take a look. Yeah, perfect play. So it'll be ISO to 4.5, I think, or something like that. Yeah, 4.5 is the exact size. And then the jam call, it's just a textbook. This is exactly what you want to do. So if this looks a bit weird, guys, this is actually part of a complete range. So what do I mean by that? If we're looking at the line from here, the 8-9 suited, 8-7 suited, 8-3 offsuit, 7-3 offsuit garbage, ace king off, ace queen off, ace jack off, some of our suited aces as well, blah, blah, blah. This is part of a balanced range that we have created, and we're doing this in a very specific way. This will all be included in the NickWalshTV chart pack, by the way, if you buy the advanced edition. But if we filter out the 4.5x ISOs, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So ace king off, ace queen off specifically, king queen off, king jack off, these like sort of big Broadway offsuit hands. We are balancing the times that we are allowed to do this weirdness down here with all these wonky hands with the very, very strong superpower hands and these high value, high equity spots. So we're looking at around a 14 big blind average here. And the reason that we're creating the range in this way is ace king off performs quite well as an all-in. However, In the event that we introduce this alternative size, which is approximately 1/3 of the total effective stack, it means that we can actually have some raise folds with some of the worst hands in the range. So previously, let's say that we simplified this strategy to just be no big ISO. In fact, we can actually investigate both. So let's take a look at the NickWalshTV chart pack here. Again, this is available for purchase on my website, but I want to look at two different things. Let's take a look at the NickWalshTV standard solves. So this is the standard edition. This is the advanced pack. The advanced pack includes the alternative ISO size, the dynamic ISO size, which I think is actually super powerful. It's far more valuable than GTO would indicate because most people don't know how to play against it. Unfortunately, the $25 spinning goes on PokerStars right now are full of guys who are doing these very well. If you were to go and play, or if you were to play poker or heads up poker of any kind, let's say you're in a live environment, in particular, maybe you were playing like a live heads up event, that's a good example. Players are going to be terrible at heads up, and these spots will not just be a little bit better than GTO, they will be infinitely better than GTO. And generally speaking, the more players that you encounter in whatever game that you play in a heads up manner, you will do better against if you play these strategies. So let's take a look at heads up standard. Let's take a look at big blind versus limp, and let's take a look at 14. So this first one over here that we have, this is going to be our basic strategy, okay? So this is what happens when you ask GTO to solve heads up with 4-chip EV, and you are solving it where you have a check or an all-in from out of position, or a normal raise, sorry. So you can raise to 3, you can check, or you can shove. This strategy will perform very, 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 very well. Don't get me wrong, this is still completely reasonable. This is a great way to behave. But because you haven't given the solver the opportunity to use that 1/3 stack size, it's going to simplify ace king, ace queen into a jam. It's going to simplify king jack into a jam. It's going to simplify these suited connectors, which are really nice and playable, into jams as well. But you'll notice that all of our weak stuff down here, our 7 deuce off, our 8 deuce off, all of these hands will be raised to 3 big blinds at a very small frequency, but they will be somewhat less effective. If I now open up heads up advanced, and I take a look at the exact same spot, so if we're taking a look at 14 big blinds from an advanced strategy perspective, let's compare the two. Now, because we have this alternative size, look at the world of possibilities that we've opened now, right? So suddenly, these hands that are just kind of useless, like they make us no chips, like the raising from these hands, most people just don't do it because it's very high risk. A lot of players are very sticky. You're going to take 7 deuce to the flop more often. Suddenly 8-3 off, 7 deuce off, you know, these 9-4 off, these hands end up being raised at a much higher frequency. So there's an entire hand category. There's 14 combinations of these hands that suddenly become a bit of a superpower, where you're going to be making chips where your opponent never makes chips in that spot. In addition to that, you'll get more action from ace king, ace queen, king jack, and all these hands, and this is actually very beneficial for us. But you can see how it just gives us a little bit more room to balance these very, very low value hands into profitable ways to play. And I think that's very interesting from a game theory perspective. The big raise in this case, I think, is something that when applied correctly can be extremely powerful even against very good opponents. But against unknown players, I mean, I just think they don't have the answer for it. They've never seen somebody put in 1/3 of their stack before, and it's terrifying. So these hands will just print where previously they were almost unplayable, like almost literally a give up pre-flop. Very interesting. Okay, cool. We've done 2, but this is confirmed. Jack 4 suited, our opponent limps and we check. Again, this is a bit of a funny one. I think that folding jack high on this board in a limped pot is too weak. When our opponent bets, we call, we have a gut shot. That makes sense. When they bomb the turn to 4, I do think we're probably forced to fold here. It could be the case that we're still strong enough to continue, but again, we need to be very careful because the way that players play turns is very different from the way the computer will play turns. No. Good stuff. That makes sense. That feels good to me. I would be surprised if that was wrong. So we're all in here with King 10. Again, this is a very specific setup. We have one player with around 13.5 big blinds, one player with 11. I'm imagining King 10 is going to be simplified into a jam here for GTO just because it's an awkward stack depth. But let's take a look. Okay, cool. So King 10 is still going to be in a min raise, I assume. This isn't quite the same setup, though. This solve isn't close. Let's take a look. No, this is wrong. This is actually wrong. So we're looking at, that's 11, 14, 14, 14, 14, 11 is what we're looking for. 14, 14, 12 might be the closer one, but this is actually a very big difference. Okay, let's just create this ourselves then. Let's say the average, we're doing pre-flop three-handed chippy V at 14 effective, and the big blind has 11. We'll actually give this guy 13.5 as well to be specific. There's always a limp on the button, which doesn't exist for spins. There you go. So King 10 does start to become a shove here. I think probably in the faster multipliers, defaulting to the shove is good, but that's very important that we double check that because the computer simplified it to 14, 14, 12. It is very different. It is very, very different, and the shove does exist, so we're not crazy. So King 7 here, there's a raise, and we call. Our opponent bets. Like I said, I do think that at this stack depth, King High is probably winning here a lot. I mean, theoretically, our opponents are supposed to have all kinds of suited hands that, you know, we're beating here. The cool thing about this texture is that if we call, it's very hard for them to continue bluffing if they don't have a queen or a four as value, or, you know, some sort of a turn flush draw or something like that. As played, we call, our opponent checks the turn, and we check again. And on the river, we go check, check again. Now, I'm very interested to see how GTO approaches this. I kind of assume that King High is already kind of a superpower, because we were talking about this on stream. When we arrive here, I start this hand at 18 big blinds effective. This guy is a super reg, so he's playing the correct pre-flop ranges. Most of the aces that are played here are raised or shoved pre-flop. In fact, every offsuit ace is probably going to be all in here theoretically. So as soon as there's a raise like this, he might have some big-ish aces, but for the most part, like ace king offsuit is meant to be all in here. So he's not going to have ace high as often. That's not a hand we want to get to fold. But I still wonder if we still want to have a stab to try and get some smaller pairs to fold at some point. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. This one's very technical because the pre-flop is very, very specific. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that we won this hand, guys? We didn't. He has King Jack. We're always outkicked. We never have the best hand. We're playing perfectly. We're drilling these spots. We are destroying these spots against very good players, and we're not winning. Okay, so just out of interest, let's go through it. So pre-flop, just the call, obviously. On the flop, there's a call. There's potentially a raise. This raise is whatever. You know, like it's not necessary. Check the turn 100%. That makes sense. On the river, there's no betting whatsoever. So we're drilling it. So just out of interest, guys, I am very interested to see how often our opponent has ace high on this river, because I would say, I'm going to go out on the limb and say, if you are going to have a bluff with King 7 here at some point where we have showdown, it's extremely important that your opponents have ace highs that you're getting to fold, because otherwise I think you're massively over bluffing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this hand. Let's study from here, because I think by the time we get to this river, our opponents have very, very, very few ace highs. This is an assumption that I'm making completely based on my memory of the pre-flop range. Let's say we check and the river is the 7 of spades. If we go into filters here and we're looking at the small blind, ace high, look at this. So they have ace high about 20% of the time, and they're very specific aces. You see the ones that are here. If we go back to the pre-flop and you go into small blind, you'll see what I'm saying about ace X. You can see how much of this stack is actually just going straight in pre-flop. Remember that the offsuit combos are many more combos than the suited combos, right? There's only four combinations of ace deuce. And then there are 12 combinations of ace deuce off. Okay, so the thought process is very good here. The check down is literally textbook. Good stuff. All right, our opponent limps, we check back. There's probably some raising with queen jack here, but we probably rolled high. Our opponent bets. I think our hand is too good to fold, so we call, and our opponent bets turn, we fold. So this could be completely off-piste. I just feel like in terms of like pre-flop and a limped pot, I think we have the best hand too much to want to fold the flop. We have, you know, backdoor straight draw as well. It could be wrong. Let's take a look. It might just be fold flop, honestly, but we'll see. Nope. There you go. Like I said, pre-flop is the kind of hand that we can... Queen jack is a hand that we can raise some of the time. The check is also going to be fine. We arrive here. Our opponent bets. Calling is what we do most of the time. We can even check raise. That's kind of nice. And... there you go. Textbook. 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 We're not winning, but it's textbook. All right, 8 big blinds all in. We call with king 10. I don't even know why we're looking this one up. If this is a fold, I might quit poker forever. We didn't win, by the way. All right, so this is an interesting one. We limp, our opponent raises to 5 big blinds. So this is one of those 1/3 stack ISOs that we were discussing. I believe that the best suited connectors, 6-7 suited, 8-7 suited, are still a call. We call, we arrive on this flop, our opponent jams, we call. Now, turns out we had the best hand until the river. We didn't win. I just want to double check if we're supposed to defend this hand pre-flop. I think we do. And it's important that we hit the ranges correctly. So it was a perfect play. We played the hand perfectly. We understood the conditions required to enter the pot and to stack off, but we didn't win. That's the hard. That was the tricky part. All right, cool. We shove 9-5 suited here. This is around 8.5 big blinds. I'm pretty sure this is definitely Nash. The shove is definitely going to be Nash, but I'm just going to double check the GTO. Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be splits. You can jam, you can call. As soon as we get to 8 big blinds, I'm sure that we're just going to jam this one most of the time. Let's take a look. So this is 8.5. 9-5 suited is a push. Some of the time a call, some of the time. If we go to 8, there you go. It's pretty much always a push. We're not making this shit up, guys. We're not making it up. We didn't win, but we're not making it up. 12 big blind jam. This was the game where we made a big fold against not your core, or we were gonna triple off, but we didn't triple, and then basically confirmation that we had we did the right thing. Then we shoved 12 big blinds with 8. Why would you shove 8-7 suited for 12 big blinds, Nick? Like, what are you doing? Are you some kind of idiot? No, I think it's a shove. I think mathematically this will show a profit. We shove 8-7 of hearts, small blind calls, big blind calls. Aces and kings. Those are hard hands. Those are very difficult hands to beat in this game. Let's take a look. Is Nick a complete moron? He's not a moron. It's the perfect play. Let's take a look. Let's study it further. You must be some kind of whale. How can your graph look like this? So in terms of actual EV, this is probably getting close to a spot where I would consider it to be fringy. 0.02 is very, very, very fringy. The alternative is just to win nothing, which kind of sucks. So this is definitely fully approved. Don't get me wrong. However, there is a big difference between 8-7 suited and 8-9 suited here. That's a big enough difference. That's the kind of difference that you do want to note and be aware of. Just for future reference, because the more that you study these spots, the more you'll get a feel for what is considered a high value move and what is considered a low value move. So If you are in a marginal situation, let's say you're playing a sit and go where it's not winner take all, and there is some ICM, you know, having some understanding of where those lines are will help drive your decision making to, I'm not going to take this spot, I'm going to play this alternatively, right? And that's actually very, very interesting. If we look at the split, the min raise here is going to actually be the same value as the jam. If we take a look at this split, there is a marginal difference between these two. So honestly, the shove here is obviously fully confirmed fine, going to be profitable. However, I would note that this is probably one of the closer spots that we played, and we'll just try and learn from that and apply that in the future somehow. Min raise at 15 big blinds effective. We defend the big blind. It comes with a 5. There is a big bet. Now, this is an interesting spot because a lot of players don't implement this 3 big blind bet into 4.5. And when they do on this low texture, they tend to trend towards strength. I do think against a guy that we've played a bunch of poker with, we can't fold yet, so we call. On the turn, he goes again. I just don't know if he is the kind of player that's going to bet big with, you know, Queen Jack here. This doesn't exactly feel like the best spot to just be ripping it in unless he has Queen Jack of clubs specifically. Let's take a look. There is a chance that we're supposed to just commit flop. I could be, this one I sincerely don't know. So there is some all in. We're not making that up. That's not a made up thing. The issue that I have is, let's take a look at the 3 big blind bet our opponent makes here. So back to the button. Let's take a look at what is supposed to be betting 3 here. So a bunch of hands that are beating us, obviously. 10-9 offsuit. I don't think people are betting 3 with 10-9 offsuit. Jack-10 offsuit. A lot of people aren't betting 3 big blinds with Jack-10 offsuit. Queen-10 offsuit. A lot of people aren't betting 3 with it. So suddenly, that check jam is not really a thing anymore, right? King-7. King-7? King-7 of spades? King-7 of hearts, that's the 7 blocker with 2 overcards in the back door, straight draw, flush draw. I mean, this is cool. Don't get me wrong. I like this. This is a cool move. I'm probably not going to do this, but because I'll forget. But yeah, generally speaking, we play our hand probably the best way we can against humans, but it is just confirmed. Okay, great. So in this spot, we go check, check. Our opponent bets. Again, this is one of these very short stacked spots. But we do have the backdoor clubs. So let's study this one. I'm almost positive we get this one right. It's kind of the same as the other one. Oh, actually, never mind. Never mind. This is actually a really cool one. I think we're allowed to do this. Once this happens, we gave up, though. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I could be wrong on the min check raise. These are spots we have been studying a bit more. Maybe I get this one right. I'm sure that might be allowed because we have backdoor clubs. It's literally 51.8% of the time. So our intention here is to call. We did actually find the check raise because we're literally just flames. We're on fire right now, chat. We are on fire. We are on fire, and I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. We're playing so good. We're just not winning. All right, so this is one I think we missed. I'm not going to lose any sleep over this one because it's probably really close, but I think we're probably priced in with 10-7 here, but it's kind of gross. Nah, maybe not actually. Maybe not. This one's close enough for me not to care. I think we're supposed to call pre. Yeah. It's 0.13 as well, so it's actually not that close. This is definitely one we missed, but the reason it's marked is because I kind of thought it might have been a call. Okay. So this is a min raise, and we 3-bet jammed. I would be very surprised if I got that one wrong. This is not what you do all the time, but it is a very good candidate for it. Beautiful, perfect. Yeah, like I said, not always, but most of the time, ace 5 3-bet jam. This is very good. This will do very well against everyone. King 4 suited all in. This is a very specific setup. We need to be careful that we're getting the stack depths right. I'm pretty sure King 4 of hearts is a jam here. This player has around 9, so that is actually quite high, but this player is very short stacked, and that softens the blow. That changes the average effective stack depth here. Oh, it's perfect. It's 100% of the time. 100% of the time we jam King 4 suited there. All right, button is all in, and we go with it here. Again, I think that it's particularly important to note that this player is this short. The shoving range here will be tons of hands that we have beat with King Deuce. You guys will not be surprised to see that we were dominated, of course, because we can never make the right call and have the best hand. Let's take a look at the actual ranges here, because I want to show you how wide the initial open is. The shove here is so wide. I mean, how many hands do we have that we beat here? A ton. A ton of hands we have beat, plus we're kind of priced in anyway, so it doesn't matter, but this is the correct call. Pocket nines, min raise, our opponent calls. So, big blind, very good reg. Very, very good reg. In fact, friend of the stream. I would be very surprised if we're not supposed to bet nines here. Our hand is very well disguised. It is very stack offable. We come in for one big blind. Our opponent check raises. Now, the check raises here will be hands like 4-5. They will be hands as weak as like deuce 4 suited, right? Where they have the gut shot. They will be hands like 8-9. They will be hands like 7-8. They will be flush draws with potential backdoor equity. When we get check raise, we absolutely can never fold. We call. On the turn now, suddenly it can still be 7-8. It can still be 8-7. It can still be the flush draw. It can be a flush draw that has a straight draw now. It could be a flush draw with a 7, and now they have a gut shot as well, or whatever, right? I just think this is another classic spot where we kind of need to play our hand this way. Now, I could be wrong on the flop. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some checking. I just think when we have nines specifically without a spade, there's so much more that we get value from, including these combination draws that will always play their hand this way. So we river a set of nines. Our opponent had king 10 because we never have the best hand. Let's take a look if we're completely losing our minds. Okay, so close spot, which means definitely it was an option. So pre-flop, we go for the min raise. Our opponent calls. On the flop, there is checking, there is betting. You'll note that the bet is the exact same value as the check. You see how close this is? So in this event, I'm not mad at all about betting, right? Especially if we think our opponents are going to not react correctly with a 6 or a tray or a flush draw or a straight draw. Once we bet and our opponent raises, 100% call. On the turn when they jam, it's 100% call. So we have played our hand in a way that is literally going to be perfect again. It's not indicating that because it's doing all of this nonsense. But if the EV of this spot is exactly identical to betting to checking, I feel good about the way we play the hand 100%. It's very unfortunate that our opponents always have the nuts, though. That's the saddest part about this. Let's take a look at this spot for further inspection anyway. Let's take a look at what's supposed to check raise on the flop, because I want confirmation that what I'm saying is not completely ridiculous. I don't know why we've gone into percentages here. Why are we in percentages? There we go, that's better. Oh, I must hit the space button. Okay, so the raise wasn't even to 4.5, but we're still meant to call anyway. We got nines as a call. Okay, so let's take a look at this big blind check raise range. So these are the hands that we're supposed to raise to around 4.5. So 6-5 offsuit, literally a 6 is supposed to check raise here. This is interesting. The 10s, of course, are in there. King 10 is almost certainly going to be in there most of the time. Yep, Queen 10 is good, of course. King 5 with the King of Spades is supposed to check raise here. Ace 4 with the Ace of Spades is supposed to check raise here. King 4 with the King of Spades is supposed to check raise here. Let's take a look at some more of the obvious ones. 9-7, that was one of the straight draw examples that I gave you. Interesting to see that the 8-7s and the 8-7s and the 8-9s want to do a little bit more calling, which is understandable. I think that's how I would play that hand as well. The 6-7 check raises. The 4-5s are check raising, mostly just with the spades, however. The deuce 4s, these are the ones that I was making reference to a minute ago. Deuce 4 of hearts wants to check raise. That was one of the examples I gave you guys a minute ago. 6 tray is 2 pair. 7-4, that's another good example. That's the 7-4 spades, however. 7-5s are going to play it cool. Okay, yes, this is most of what we're seeing. I should also note, however, looking at this one, this is what GTO check raise is. And this is also why I think I prefer the bet. Even good players will check raise their flush draw, straight draws here higher frequency than GTO, which makes this move significantly better. Because when we're putting in money with 9s on a board where the check is going to be the same value as bet 1 big blind, right? This is exceptionally good for us, because if our opponents overreact when they have a gut shot between the 10 and the 6, or a straight draw between the 6 and the 4, 6 and the 3, or the flush draws. Let's take a look. Let's filter this specifically for flush draws. Look how often the flush draws want to check raise here as well. That's easily over 50%, right? So 53.8% of the time they want to check raise here. I would argue that a lot of players, even better players, are going to over check raise this board, and that makes the 9s a better bet on the flop. And then we've already confirmed that thereafter the call is correct. He has king 10 because we run bad, but this is still going to be very, very good. So we limp, they limp, we check, and we arrive here. This is another one of those funny ones. There's a bet. I think we call. On the turn, they barrel again. I think we're forced to fold. I think this is just, again, the transaction we need to make. Now, obviously, this isn't just, we're not calling just to give up. We're calling to find other ways to win and to improve. But I think this is going to be the same kind of deal. The turn is close. The turn is close. The difference between a call and a fold is 0.01 big blinds. So against a person, I feel okay about the fold here 100%. Again, don't forget that it's important that we look at these numbers. The computer will always pick the move that is greater value than the alternative. But if the difference is 0.01 big blinds, if the difference is 0.01, we can probably safely assume that against a person, we're probably making a very good fold here, because they're not going to bluff the same way that GTO will. But there we have it. So guys, another day in the books. We are struggling this year. We are definitely down dollars this year. After rewards, I believe we're down maybe around $2,000, which, you know, in actual buy-ins is not that much. $2,000, it's around 80 big blinds. Considering the fact that we've been flatlining for the last, let's say, 20,000 hands of poker, 30,000 hands of poker. I mean, yeah, maybe even 30 or 40. We've been treading water pretty well. We're doing these sessions. We're finishing our sessions. We're marking down tricky spots. We're marking down very important spots where we potentially could have made mistakes, and we're drilling these situations. We're not just going into GTO Wizard and saying, I'm a GTO wizard, I'm a good boy, I've done my work. We're actually studying the spots specifically. We're drilling down. We're making concessions for the players that we're playing. We're making concessions for reality and not just what computer thinks is good. And we are improving on a daily basis here. And our decision making has absolutely become better throughout this process. We have become a better poker player since we've taken on the 50K challenge and now the 250K challenge. We're making progress towards our 10K total. I think we've played around 3,500 games at this point. And I think we're going to keep up with the 2 tabling, and we're going to ramp up our volume until we get to our target, and we're not going to give up. The frustration exists. It's very, very difficult to play this game and not become frustrated sometimes. But the process that we have in place is very powerful, and it's very difficult to argue with the results that we're seeing on review. Okay? I mean, granted, a lot of these spots are just pre-flop, and we're just confirming what we already know. But we are going into some very interesting territory, and we're getting a lot of these spots right. you know, big spots. We're calling people down for entire stacks with like third pair, and we're right. We're getting these spots right, without oversimplifying or, you know, not accounting for the way that players actually encounter and play the game. So with that note, we're gonna clock off for now, guys. I don't know when my next stream will be. I'm assuming it will probably be Monday, possibly. Let me get you guys on the socials. Hit me up, follow me on the socials I'm about to put in the chat. And we're going to continue to grind in this fashion. Oh no, YouTube must have died. Drop me a follow on my socials. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. I got a website and I've got a YouTube, all under NickWalshTV. And we are going to make this graph go up if it's the last thing that I do on this planet Earth. I love you guys very much. Clocking off for now. I will see you guys very shortly. And yeah, if I do decide to do a weekend stream, I'll hit you up on social media as usual. And that's it.